being completely comfortable or close to comfortable as you've ever been?
Well, I mean, as I've ever been is tough, but I mean, I'm plenty comfortable enough and playing plenty well enough to win. I feel like I am. It's just about doing it and getting myself in contention more often and kind of feeling those feelings again. I mean, at Amex, it was unfamiliar. I hadn't been in a final group for a while, so it's just continuing to keep playing well and just keep working on the things I'm working on and just trying to not make the game any harder than it is, really. And I feel like I've done a good job of that.
How do you talking about on the
Go ahead.
what are the unique challenges?
Patience, for sure. I mean, it'd be very. To be perfectly honest, I know of a handful of guys that have avoided some of these West Coast tournaments on POA because of how much it messes with your head, and a lot of really, really good putters that it'll make you feel like you're putting bad because it's. I mean, a place like this, I'll never be that focused and spend that much time and attention on a 1 foot putt. I mean, it's just anything can happen in Poana. I mean, the ball bounces so much, and especially when they're this soft. I mean, everybody has to deal with it, and I think it's. For me, I've tried to stay really, really patient, and I understand I have missed my fair share of putts, but I've also hit a lot of really good putts, and I'm walking off today thinking about that putt on 18 I made versus the other ones I missed.
I'm curious, just how do you make the game more difficult? What is going on in your head that then gets in the way of simplifying it? I mean, are there just certain aspects, tendencies?
For me, I think it's forcing the issue. It's understanding, if you're in between clubs, you just maybe that's not a time to be aggressive. If you have a tee shot that maybe doesn't fit your eye, it's hitting a different club off the tee. It's just, I mean, these last tournament and a half has been, I feel like, more me golf. I think relying on my short game, relying on my wedge game. Playing smart, playing patient, and understanding that at any point throughout a 72-hole tournament, I could get hot and shoot 8, 9, 10, 11 under, and I just kind of try to stay patient and hope or let that happen. So I feel like I feel like I have good control of my ball right now, and I'm hitting it well. But I just if I'm not, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm missing it on the correct sides and. If I'm between clubs with a 5 or 6 iron, I'm not trying to force a 5 iron back there in there close. It's just hit a 5 or 6 iron 30 feet short, make 2 putt, and just move on. And I just think that stuff adds up every time.
Do you have an example of maybe that today where you were in between clubs or there was something that you made the right decision that was you were happy with it?
I mean, it's little things. It's like
no specific.
I mean, number 8's a decent example. I mean, I didn't make birdie, but it was a perfect 8 iron. It's a very super tucked pin. I mean, in reality, you have probably 2 yards that you have short of the hole that you need to land it, and it's a pretty narrow little sliver back there. And I mean, I do feel like I could have very comfortably. I'd won 81, and it was mostly off the left, a little help. And I'm like, if I hit a solid 8 iron that rides the wind, I mean, it's a perfect club. But when it's a little cold like this, I just barely bottom groove it, or I maybe kind of turn it up against the wind. It might not get there, and so I hit 7 because I knew that I took short completely out of play, and I felt like I had enough control that I could gauge the distance and put it back there in a good spot, and I did, and I hit a really good putt I thought I made and just missed, but it was an easy 4, and you move on.
4, yeah.
You were. Sorry. Go ahead, Pablo.
I know you said last year you felt like you weren't far away when you were struggling a bit. In the little time you had off, what's the balance, I guess, or the struggle with trying to change some things versus kind of sticking to the course in that sense? And how did you go through that at all?
I mean, I got into some. I felt like bad habits in my swing, so just trying to get rid of those. But just go back to kind of being me, playing my golf, my game. Again, it's very easy to kind of go. You can go down wormholes in this game pretty easily and make it very, very, very difficult. And I might be in some areas a little bit like that, but for the most part, that's not me. I like to play golf, not golf swing, and that's what I've just been trying to do, I guess.
Jordan said earlier this week, he was talking about this event as a signature event, and said it's kind of an important year as a proof of concept. Do you agree with that? And if so, why?
Sorry,
as like a proof of concept that this concept works.
Yeah, I mean, I've never thought of it, but I guess that would make sense. I mean, I would think you never know, right? You obviously don't know we can't control who watches, how many people watch, how many people come to the tournament, or I mean, you could have bad weather that people not come out. Like there's a lot of factors that go into it, but for a golf fan, I would think that they would want to watch an event like this as much as they would want to watch a major, because realistically, a lot, if not obviously all, but the majority of the same players are playing in it. This is all the top players in the world that are playing in these, handful of events together each year or each season. So, yeah, I would think that they will do well, and that was at least the thought and goal behind it. But like you said, it's I guess it is a little bit of you want validated that it will work. So I guess we'll see.
Thank you, JT.
Yeah.
Can I just ask one follow-up to that point? Obviously, the field's so much better than it's been in the past, but there's also no celebrities. And I've gotten some emails from fans who sort of question that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the athletes, but not the Bill Murrays.
Yeah.
How do you balance that, I guess? Because that's kind of the identity of this tournament in some ways.
Yeah, that's I'd say a little past my pay grade. I mean, I'm not really the tournament director. I don't make those decisions, and it could be a little bit of trial and error. I don't know. Maybe it's something where they tried something this year, and if it does work, they'll stick with it. If it doesn't, they'll try something different. But this is also such a unique event that you can't really compare this to the other events. But, it's a tough spot.
Sure.
It is.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.